now you're live. Sithi thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu, thokozani to everybody. Sivuselani nesivuselani emadlodi wenu. Ngamunye ngamunye, ligama lami ngiceli ngwaka Stuart. Wow, so many names. Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu. Vuselani ngivuselani emadlodi wenu. Igama lami ngiceli ngwaka Nhlengethwa. Sibongo sami lesinye sithi Stuart. I know that you will have seen that one. Igama lami lendlodi nggogo simenjalo. Ngithi thokozani ngiyanivusela nonke ngamunye ngamunye emakhaya. La ka Afro Service and Tanza. I think you all know this now. But yeah, I'm going to start here. I know you were all expecting to see ugogo Zanemvula. That's what everybody started calling her. Her name is actually Zanemvula. It's not her Loti name. Her name is Tabete. She is my daughter. And for this one, for this line series of conversations, you're going to be dealing with me. And I'm going to be hosting a number of people and a number of teachers, should I say, people that I have learned from along the way. Ngithwasile mina ngikoko lo thwasile. So ukuthwasa kwami ngidaqala lapho. Ukuthwasa kwami, let me start there. Uthi ukuthwasa I found ukuthi akugemi. Ngathwasa ngadla intwaso, but ukuthwasa kwami icale before ngize ngiyofika ephehlweni. Namanje even after twasaring I find ukuthi I'm still twasing every day. So Utwaso is a journey, like we always say. I think everybody has taught you that it's never going to be, it's not a one-way process. Good day, it's a good destination. Good to so figile, now you have done it, and so qedile kutwasa siyaqhubeka sifunze because le ndlela lena ayisiyo yethu indlela yemadlodi wethu. So sonke siyafunza at the end of the day. Why? Let me speak about Afro Savvy. Afro Savvy, this platform here, Afro Savvy, was created as a way, as a resource for people who find themselves on the spiritual journey and not understanding ukuthi ihamba njani. For some people it's easier because kunebantu labakhule emakhaya labakhule kahle bakhule emakhaya kibo kufundziswa leti mfundziso tesintu. For me, when I found myself on this journey, I was actually not even in the country. I was living in England at the time, in West Yorkshire. And I found myself stranded because there was nowhere for me to find information, the information that I needed to help me along. The only person that I knew who had twasad was all the way in Johannesburg. And my friend also, I had a friend who had also just gone into Aso, what do you call it, into a peshwen. And so she was also a baby. There's no way she was going to be able to assist me along the way from where I was and from where she was at as well, because naibeka safunds. I found Guti because I'd been brought up in a Christian family, and I'd been brought up Christian, and I was a staunch Christian for the better part of my life as well. I found that I was struggling with accepting what it was that was actually happening to me. So it was a very big challenge, and not knowing where to find information was an even bigger challenge for me, because I believe that if you can find information, if the information is readily available, then you are better able to deal with stuff. So that was my challenge. It was my biggest challenge. But as Christians, it's easy to find information because Bible, if you turn on the television, there's so many channels on Christianity. And as far as this was concerned, there was nothing. There was nothing for me. I had no one in my family to speak to. I had nowhere to find information. So I went to the very next best thing, which was social media. And that is where I ended up, in social media. And social media I found a lot of Bokoko. At the time, I didn't even know to call Bokoko, but I found good, okay, Naba Bokoko, this is, people are teaching this. And there's so many people that I found myself learning from. I found groups as well that had been created just specifically dealing with Dinhotel. So that was my resource for learning. And I was challenged because also a lot of teachers a lot of Bokoko also were teaching different things. So that was my biggest challenge. And this is why I am here. This is why we have Afro Savvy, to just have one resource. We hope that is what we're creating. One resource, a place where you can go into and find a number of speakers speaking of African spirituality or Africanism, and to help you guide you on your journey. And you will find also that the things that resonate with you are these things that will not resonate with you, those things you throw out. But the things that resonate with you, those are the lessons that you take on. So that is why we are here. And this platform now for the school is also what we're calling the online school, is to have people, is to assist Bantu to understand in depth Emma topics that we find are relevant in the space you those. The first one we're going to be doing today, we're talking about ukuthwasa. So you saw that is the first module. It's going to be ukuthwasa. There are going to be a number of lessons from a number of teachers, some of them who have taught me personally, because like I said, ngithwasile, but before ngiqale ukuthwasa besindlela yami ngiqalile kufunza. Ngathwasa, ngathola gobela wami, I was led to my gobela, ngathwasa, ngaqedza ukuthwasa, ngakhanza ukuthi angaqedzi indlela solo iyachubeka. So I have been learning. It's been over a year now, just over a year of constant learning. This is what I do on a daily. I speak to teachers, I write about that is what we do. We produce all these shows, and we also sit with people. We actually welcome people. The Afro service space has become a home for a number of sangomas. So it's not just us that sit in here. The people come in here, they spend weeks and weeks here with us, teaching us, and also with us also learning from them. And we also welcome in this place people needing healing, not just spiritual healing, but also physical healing. So Afro Savvy has been a resource that is growing and is still going to grow. Today we're going to be speaking to, like I said on that first module, lesson 1, our first teacher is Ibrahim Khoza, and we're going to be speaking about ukuthwasa. Please hold for me while I find him and invite him to join us on the live. Togozani. Come, Sarah. Hang 10, guys. He's here. Hang 10. We got him. Togoza Mkulu. Let's see if you're coming on. I've sent the invite, guys, so we'll just wait for him to accept it on his end, and he's going to be answering a lot of questions from me, but he is the teacher today. I am not the teacher. I am just the host. Mkulu, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but I cannot see you clearly.
No, I cannot see you at all. Just please hang on, Kesha. Hang on.
Okay.
Mkulu.
Okay, Cook.
Put it on again. Hang 10, guys. I'm finding Mkulu. There we go. Right here, Kesha. Okay, while we wait for Mkulu, guys, I hope that you have a pen and paper ready, because you're going to need to take notes. Apparently, you are the gogos that are just watching to get more information or just watching from curiosity. But this is actually a class. So bring yourself a pen and paper, because this is not actually going to go onto YouTube. So bring pen and paper, notepad, be able to take notes, because this class is on. Togoza Kesh.
Makhosi ngwenyama ninjani?
Siyaphila ndawo. Sajabula ukubona.
Makhosi, hayi nami ngiyajabula gogo.
Jabula nekuthi uvume khehla kutofundisa la. What we follow my teachings. Siyabona babogogo baningi bayafundzisa. So we actually do follow your teachings, and we have a big appreciation for your teachings. So this is why we have invited you to actually share, because I've learned from you. So now basikhatsi kufundisa labanye bantu as well. So we share what we have learned. So our first topic for today, I have actually already introduced it to the audience, which is topic ukuthwasa. Ngicela uqale ngekuvusela Mkhulu ubingelele before siqale kufundisa.
Asibingelele konke nina abasendla nasizansi kusuka eMpumalanga ngentshonalanga eningizimu nasenyakatho lo obingelelayo ke umkhulu uIbrahim kwelamathongo ushobe elikhulu akwaSimelani ke we-Shobe elikhulu Institute for Spiritual Healing. Uma bengibiza ke bengisi ke bathule native shaman makhosi. Ngijabule ke yimama Simenjalo to be part and parcel of this initiative. Indeed, Afro Savvy, it is a platform that is growing. It's going to grow even more. The way you are doing, the unity of healers is what we basically need so that we speak in one voice. Therefore, we can be able to unite the whole of the community because of already we are for the community is for us. Marcos.
Thokozile ke. Asiqale ke mkhulu wami singene topic yethu yokuthwasa namuhla, which is the topic for the day. This is module 1. I have been saying I've already introduced it. Good module 1, lesson 1, and there will be more lessons on this. And also, I'm going to be able to invite people to be able to send their questions that they may have on the topic, and we will deal with them, maybe handle them on the second lesson on the same topic. Wazani. Siqale mkhulu sikhulume ngokuthwasa. Uthi yini ukuthwasa? What does it entail? Masikhuluma ngokuthwasa sithi sibe sikhuluma ngani nje?
Marcos. Uma sikhuluma ngokuthwasa, sikhuluma, we're talking about the process that we actually done for our own ancestral spirits. Amadlozi lawo wethu lawo. Amadlozi lawo akudlokomele. Ngoba ukuthwasa can only be done by a person unamadlozi amdlokomele, meaning that you must be possessed by a certain kind of an ancestor or an ancestral spirit that needs this ukuthwasa, because of ukuthwasa, it is more of a spiritual transition process that we are doing in order to align their spirits and your spirits to become one. And once it happens in that sense, that is where you'll be qualified to be called with the title of Lelo Dlozi Lelo. You'll be called Ugogo, Noma Umkhulu. It depends on the type of an entity or idlozi that has embraced you in that particular time. So ukuthwasa is actually a process of, it's a spiritual transitional process, if I have to put it in that way. I don't want to say it is an initiation. I'm trying to run away from that because we cannot give a direct meaning of ukuthwasa in English. That's what ukuthwasa is.
I understand lokukhuluma ngemagama esilungu sibe sikhuluma ngemagama sibe sikhuluma ngesintu kanje ukuthi vele akuhlangani akukhulumi ngale esikhuluma ngayo. So but the viewers will have to understand that really we will be interchanging the language to make it relevant to what the subject that we're talking about. Thokoza mkhulu. Ukhuluma ngekuthi uthi manje sikhuluma who undergoes ukuthwasa. Sithi khona bantu labahamba bayothwasa bahamba ngoba bakhethiwe kunelidlodi lelihleti kubo lekufuneka ukuthi lithwaselwe. So what you're saying is it's not just anybody that goes to Twasa.
Exactly, yes. Not everybody, it's a must for a person to Twasa. I need to explain this so that we can all be clear. Not every person that ophupha abantu abangasekho noma kuthiwa amadlozi efike kuyena kumele esukume eyothwasa, you know, because of la madlozi awafani. Kumele umuntu abe naleli dlozi leli elibizwa umamemeza. Umamemeza is this kind of an ancestor that is driving the process in your dreams in different viewpoints to say it will end up leading you. That's why there is a song, a famous song is Sangomeni, but uyamemeza umamemeza, meaning that umamemeza is a type of an ancestor which is not the actual chief dlozi, as they say. Ikosila konoma lo petrom sebins, we are no more holelele. So now the trick here, Koko Simenjalo, I must say this as well, not to make people confused. The trick is that you do not just wake up with all dreams that pertain to Shali, water animals, and everything that you are convinced to say, Uyotwasa. Not all dreams are accurate. So we must firstly make sure that we get somebody that will be able to differentiate the types of dream that you are having, if they are genuine or they are interfered or an engineered type of a dream. Hey, abantu bayazi impande ngaphandle. Uphupha kanjena, ucabanga ukuthi kumele uyothwasa, then mawufika kwagobela niyalwa. Usuku uthi uya kwenye indawo wale. kanti kwala ini kwala lamadlozi awakini ngoba awayifuni lentwaso. And when you've been played by certain people like us, why I say like us, Tina Sangoma, ngoba we are the ones that understand this umuti that actually creates illusion in your dreams to make you as if ngathi kumele uthwase ungamilanga ukuthwasa. But makumele uthwase, the first thing, you must be guided by your own ancestors. It's either in dreams, it's either in vision, it's either in your own instinct, it's either in your own intuition. Those are ways, and even in nature as well. There are ways whereby your ancestors bazo guide ukuthi no, mtanami, this is what we basically need. At the end of the day, it's not about our needs as human beings, but it is the spirit that lives within us that is the one that is in need of this process called ukuthwasa.
Makhosi. La emakhaya ethu ke sonke sithi ngoba ethu sonke lamadlodi. Ngabuya lapho ukuthi mangithwasa ngithwasa lidlodi lamadlodi alakhaya. Is it before, yeah, alakhaya lamadlodi or uthwasa ngifuna break it down lapho nje makhosi ukuthi ngoba lakhaya sithi ngikhule ekhaya sidaliwe si5. So lamadlodi siyawashare ngimake wethu nababe wethu wonke banye. So siyawashare lamadlodi. Akhetha munye ukuthi ahamba yothwasa noma lamanye emakhaya athwasa khetha kuthwasa abantu lababili or labanye bathathu, you know. Ufika njani ukuthi likhethe njani wena? How does that process happen? Lekhetha ukuthi ukhetha njani wena ukuthi kube nguwe lo yothwasa lakhaya?
Makhosi, ngiyabonga lo mbuzo. One thing that we must understand about idlozi, I think that was the first thing that we need to unpack. What is idlozi so that people will understand. Idlozi liyisithunywa samathongo. Idlozi, it is an ancestral spirit that is an interactive type. And there are those which are not interactive, that we call them amathongo, laba abalele noma bangasikho, ibona that sent this one. So before everything happens for you to be chosen, there is a meeting that happens in the spirit world. Then they will identify a certain person because of that particular person must be identified for a specific reason. Because of not ukuthwasa wethu, we are going to be dealing with impande. We need to be very clear that not all of us, we are going to be dealing with impande. Then if they identified you, then there will be a sign. The first sign before any person can tell you to namadlozi, or you can even know to dream about it. Ukuzaleka kwakho. Ukuzalwa kumele uzaleke wembethe. That is point number 1 ebuthwaseni. Kumele uzaleke wembethe, meaning ukuthi you are born covered by something from your mom's tummy. And uzala unqambile ngesintu sethu bathi ukuzala unqambile. Maybe there's a place whereby the umbilical cord is directed in a certain place, maybe la entanyeni or maybe la emzimbeni or something like that. That is the sign that shows that you did not come alone in this world. You actually came with umlaphi, which is this type of idlozi that will lead you to it. Yes, that is how you become chosen. They decide and check the potential and the ability that you can be able to execute, and they want you to execute their own thing. Because of ukuthwasa, it's about ukufeza ikweletu nemfuno zabantu abadala, right? If I come now to the issue ukuthi uthwasa liphi idlozi, there are blood ancestors and there are ancestors that are not blood related with you. I will make an example. Mostly of the Nguni ancestors, you know, we call them the Nguni ancestors, the Malopo, we call them Amaxhosa, we call them Amadlozi Webesuthu and all those things. They are actually types of blood ancestors because of they link directly with your DNA. Then we have Amadlozi, which are not blood related to you, but mostly there are those whom are blood related with them. But we call them amongst them Amandao. Amandao, Gunendao, Gunamandao. Amandao are that type of spirits which needed a place. In the ancient time, there were people that will come to your place and stay there and dies there. Then when he dies, he becomes spirit like a member of a family. He may be from Uganda, he may be from Botswana, he may be from South Africa, somewhere in a certain place. When that particular person magafika, uba iledlozi esithi umdawu ofuna indawo, the majority of them used to be amakehla because of they went to look for sustainability. That's why in places like KZN, when you're talking about umdao, they don't understand the Ndao spirit that we're talking about of the Southeast Central Africa, in Mozambique, in Zimbabwe, in Chipinge, because of they understand Ndao in a different umdao in a different complete way. So, but I believe Gutobobabu Ben Cylinder and all those people who will come, they will unpack such. Then those are not blood ancestors. And sometimes uthwasa even nedlozi koko olithole ngaphandle endleleni, because of sometimes you find, for an example, khona abantu abangalandwa ababenobizo. So such people, when you go on the road, because of you are an open vessel, njengomuntu ophethwe abantu abadala, udonsa yonke le mimoya le kuwena. Uthi mase uyidonsa bese ayangena lo muntu, bathi mase bagatsheka noma bashayela idlozi bese kuphuma undlovu, then the people they get confused and say, hayi ugwebela udlala ngomntwana wethu, uDlovu wakuphi lo? They must understand the history of who is this Ndlovu. Then it's just a stranger who is not even blood related to you, but feels that this is where I can be able to stay because of masa abantu bomoya, singabantu aba-accommodate abaphilayo nabangasekho. We accommodate even the spirit of those whom were forsaken. That is why it happens in most of the time. And what is good about amadlozi lawa engawona wasekhaya, Shem, they pay their rent. I normally say like that. They are the ones that works best because of their housing in your place. So they must pay your rent because of they are scared to so they work much more, you know. Myself, as Shobel Kulga Similani, it was Langapandi, and the Ilumnigas with Kwama. Amagedla sekhaya umafilimpini kwaKhoza. I'm from uKhoza Makusi.
Nthokozi, I'll tell you now ukuthi simelane bomago wami nabogogo bami mina.
Makhu.
Makhoza kimi.
Makusi.
Nthokoza Khehla, thokozini. Basikhuluma ngendlodi lelingasiko lala khaya. Okay, ndakhuluma broadly vele because akubi idlodi lala khaya kuphela nelidlodi elingasiko lala khaya that gets referred to as a madimoni. That's the standard now. That's the standard understanding. Excuse me. Ngemadimoni, especially lawa ndlodi lawa ekufika lawa mandlodi ekuchamuka lo watholayo. Ngiyola la bathi noma sebakhona ukuthi okay siyakhona understand ukuthi okay la khaya lo mntwana wangenwa umkhulu wakhe lo umkhokho wakhe lo bekathwasisa la khaya vele siyathi kusibeke nenyanga la khaya, but leli gama leli so idloti leli ke ngilama demon leni silethela wona la khaya. So that is a whole big space lesidinga ku understandwa, lesidinga nekuthi labantu labahamba bayotwasa bakhona kukhona understand ukuthi yini lona ledloti, because abantu bayathwasa mkhulu baphume lesikhathi sasabasincane kakhulu as well nalokuthi sekuyabhujelwa nalokho hamba yothwaswa as well. So bantu bahamba bayothwasa baphume banganayo nale understanding ukuthi kahle kahle bebayokwendiwani khona le lapha babuya khona. Ngoba abantu baphuma kuyothwasa bangathi kufanele basebenze ini nalaba bafika kufanele basebenze ini babe bangasiko ready. That is why also siphinde siba nale sikolo lesi. So to help people prepare, because bantu baphuma kagobela ngale mpilo le busy ngakhona bantu bayakagobela babe baphuma bamba baye emsebenzini babuye kuchubeke bathwase babacedza lapho bamba babele emsebenzini yabo le yakahulumende o umsebenzi yabo le icasha. Ababi ne understanding ukuthi mangithwasa phela sababi ne understanding bede nalelithuba lechubeka bafunde, because lesikhathi sesithwasa ngaso sesincane Khehla. And there's very limited things that you can longa kufunda kulesa sikhathi lesa losihlele ephehlweni. Le tikolo atiyadzingeka nethi bantu bakhona kuhamba bayothola abanye bothishela as well, because abafundi akusho ukuthi munye thishela wakho masuthwasile. Ukucoka ukuthi abantu bakhona bachubeke bakhona kufunda, but okhona naloku understand letinto, because siphuma lana sibe nalama questions lesinawo labatasibuta wona la ngaphandle batasibuta wona futhi lemakhaya ukuthi okay wena uthi ugogo simenjalo bekude simenjalo la khaya bekude simenjalo kuphume lidloti lakho lithi 10. So it's a whole fine line for bantu labathwasile ukuthi futhi bafunze nebantu labasata uhamba lendlela ukuthi futhi bachubeke bafunze. Thokoza Khehla. Asingene la ngifuna lokusikhuluma ngala madloti. singakangeni kukugobela nemadloti ne-role yakugobela. Okay, maybe asicale lapho i-role yakugobela now entwasweni, because ndawukhuluma briefly ngokuthi sekunale, okay, anginatsho ukuthi sekunale, kunebandla leli thwasisa lona or labathwasiswa lidloti labo. Bese sekuba nelibandla-ke liyohamba liyothwasa kagobela. Ngifuna sikhulume nge-role yakugobela ukuthi ma ufika gobela yini la indawo gobela leli engakhoni kwendiwa lidloti lakho leli lingabe lidloti litendela kona ukuthi wahambe lithwasisele wena. Thokoza.
Thokoza gogo. I think one thing that we need to do, as you said, Uti, the danger of people abathwasayo banganikezi ulwazi, they end up populating such information which is not accurate, right? The first thing that we must understand, ukuthi akuthwasi umuntu, right? Akuso umuntu lo thwasayo. Kuthwasa the spirit that is inside a human being. Igama elithi ukuthwasa, in short, without putting those big weights, you know, it is a change from one nature to the other. You know, like ihlahla ziyathwasa. It changes from one nature to the other in season kanjalo. And there is a season called intwasa hlobo. You understand? It meaning ukuthi thwasisa lezinto to kuya kuphi kuhlobo, which is summer. You understand? So therefore, kunento ekumele kushintshe laphayana emuntwini. So manje I don't understand if people understand ukuthi ukuthwasa kuyilento engiyishoyo. Then a person will say, idlozi lami lithwasisa mina. No. Wena awukwazi ukuthwasa, wena uthwasisa leli dlozi elingaphakathi kuwe. You understand? And secondly, why you need to go to a person uyothwasa uzohlangane nogobela, ukuthi we must understand one thing. Khona lento ekuthiwa umthetho weshoba noma umthetho obunyanga. Bese kuba nalento ekuthiwa umthetho weziko noma umthetho wempande noma umthetho wesigolo. Bese kuba nedingo, the needs of idlozi lakho lezi elifunayo. So for an example, ugobela understands this better because of he has or she has to be a person that is well trained in order to understand these things. Ukuthi, how do you balance umthetho weshoba, which is umthetho obunyanga, all around the law of shamanism, and umthetho wesigodlo, school of thought la ukhulele khona, and as well as idingo zedlozi ngoba ngithi kuzothwasa lona leli dlozi. So if a person could balance this, then that particular person will be producing good initiate to become qualified healers. So therefore, what needs to be done? The first role of gobela that a gobela must play, he must play the role of being a healer before he becomes a spiritual mentor and a guide. Why I say so? Igobela must firstly heal imimoya yalo muntu, kuhlukaniswe ukuthi dlozi njengoba uza. Are you coming as umdiki or are you coming as indiki? You know, today I'm going to give you terms that are similar, people they don't know. It's either umdiki or indiki. Indiki, it is an unpleasant spirit that esashona sigula, then its illnesses was based with evil or was based with witchcraft. Therefore, akalelanga kahle ukhubazekile kumele enzeni alashwe lo muntu lona. The majority of them, you find them that they go ephelweni bagula, they don't know what to fix, they don't know what to do. The medical doctors, they don't know, because of this person suffers from indiki, which is a spiritual illness. Therefore, there are people who have this indiki but who don't have ukuthwasa or intwaso in their own blood. Kumele ulaphe lo muntu ayishone ekhaya. That is indiki. But there are those who have indiki, umdiki. So umdiki, it is an ancient ancestor that actually come from the Mandingo people or the Manlike people in the West Africa, from Mali and all those things. Since we all know that we came here to the Southern Africa, all of us coming from different positions. So we can trace that even on our smartphone to say who are the Mandingo people or the Manlike people. So you are the Amandiki. Then when they came as the Bantu nation, they've joined the Nguni nations. Then Abangoni, those who do not transgress joined them, then they became amadlozi wasekhaya. Then those one, maybe they came here because of they need to align themselves and regroup themselves as well, so that at the end of the day, you represent their agenda. So therefore, you become a healer first before you become a spiritual guide. Oruba ukobela. Awukwazi ukuthi umuntu akugobele esagula. Uzogoba kanjani? Uyagula musa. You need to heal such a person first until that person becomes so much strong. Then afterwards, then that is where now you will consume or you start your role. Because of so lapha manje amadlozi okuyiwo ozokwazi nokwachazela umndeni wabo ukuthi lo mntwana lo ungenwe indawo noma umdawu. Lo mntwana lo makafika la bekunendiki elimhluphayo sesilaphileke manje kodwa kunomdiki ofuna amagobongo noma inkamba noma ibhudlu isilawu sithuthu salo leyo nto leyo esidliwa namanguni ngoba umdiki nelentuza nomnguni they are all falling under one thing because of they are the ancestors to the Nguni people. That's where we're all coming from. Makos.
We will have a lesson on amadlozi, the different amadlozi. We will get into that not today, not next week, but it's a whole module on its own. Thokoza, thank you for touching on that and explaining that. Ngiyabonga lokufundisa lokuthi bantu one akuthwasa umuntu uthwasa idlodi. I think that is one thing that's a takeaway. Akuthwasa umuntu uthwasa idlodi, and another thing ukuthi umuntu uyalashwa before athwasiswe, before bonakale ukuthi ngathwasa noma kufuteka ini, futeka aqale ngosalashwe. Thokoza. The next question that we have on for you is how does idlozi, I don't know if you'll be able to explain this one. How does idlozi twasisa igotshwane for the self-initiation? That's what I want to ask about. Self-initiation, because I think that's the English translation for it. Because yes, let me just leave it at that. So what's that?
Marcos, I would like it, you see, when we speak of the English language, it will accommodate us. But if we will speak of ukuthwasa, we will differ. Yes, initiation is to begin a process. When you start initiating, it simply means to begin a process. I agree in that term. The first process towards ipehlo, nokuthwasa, it must start at home. You must be guided by your own ancestors. They must show you to say, sifuna ukuhlala obunje, sifuna ibhayeli nje, because of they're actually communicating with you to say what type of ancestors do you have, so that you can have an idea. If you are dreaming of amajazi esonto, you are dreaming of ipiga, it's a communication that they're actually giving you. If you are dreaming of ubuhlali and all those things, there's a communication that they are directing you. Loma Memeza is actually speaking to you to say, this is where you actually should be going. This is the direction. Now, as I've explained it here, to say, akuthwasi umuntu, kuthwasa idlozi. So therefore, the question is that now, if when, for an example, let me just make an example. If you can be able to understand dreams as the message that is been given to you, you dream of yourself wearing a bead, then you wake up early in the morning, then you go to the African chemist, whatsoever they're selling beads, and you're going to collect the beads. Then after we send you dream of amapa, you will do the same. Do the same even if Nama Upopa into us. So because of that thing, the pattern of dreams, it's a carrier of message. They are not the carriers of action. That's why you have to dream. Because of idlozi lifuna ukutulenzele 1, 2, 3, 4. In short, I will say here without any doubt, there is nothing called ukuthwasa, uthwasiswa yidlozi. You understand? It depends how you're looking at it in dreams. Because of noma uthwasa ephehlweni, uthwasiswa yidlozi, ngoba it tells you this is the time now, sesifuna this. Every stage is zasekuthwaseni. I don't care, you thwasa amakhosi, you thwasa umnguni, you thwasa amalopo, you thwasa abasuthu or abetswana, or whatsoever, or uthwasi hosana, or whatsoever. At the end of the day, it's those that will be elevating you to the next stage, meaning that lekuthwasisa party likuthwasisa kusho ukuthi alikuthwasisi liyaku-initiator liyakuphehlela usaphekwa, you know the way to phehla means to steer. You know, like mawubamba incwadi uphehla ama-page, you know, ngesintu mawuphehla ama-page, you actually grooming yourself, you understand. You cannot say mawusaphehla and think you know the whole book. You need to come to the end so that you can be able to know the whole book. That's why today the majority of the people abaphehlelwanga kahle, you understand, they just the whole page. Then the next thing, conclusion. The next thing, a person must go back now to understand the basic that people they don't know about it. Ukuthwasiswa yidlozi kukhona, but not emaphusheni. Amaphupho, they are just carriers of messages, and then therefore you must wake up and take an action towards what you've been shown in a dream. Thokoza.
I'll ask you now to go into the advantages. Because it's become a very controversial issue at this point. So let's try to avoid the controversy and just stick to teaching the things that need to be taught.
Okay.
Let's look at advantages of going through uphehlo. Ngoba nala ngaphandle as ama-healers siyakhona nalokubona nje sengiyakhona sekunayo indlela yokubona ukuthi in just simple conversation uyabona ukuthi lona uphehlile lo lona akakaphehli lo kuba ne-small things ama-telling signs ukuthi lona singakhuluma sichubeke sifike kuphi, because phandle kokuthi sikhuluma i-language yinye lo mthetho uwutholile ngoba kunemehluko emfini lo gcobise idzumani, emfini lo khonile lofunzile kuguca kuthoba. Ukhona umehluko kuleyo hila leyo nemlaphi lo ngaka ihambi leyo ndlela leyo. Okay, so ngifuna ukubuta kuwe just to lay out ama advantages that you can think of, advantages of ukuhamba uyophehla, and then we will go into the advantages because akhona nawo ukuthi okay kunema-challenges akhona tinto letivelela abantu ephehlweni tinto letinje, so the ngito nalentenda ukuthi labanye maybe bese seba-prefera lokuthi mina ndaba ngile sangoma lesingaka ephehlweni. Thokoza.
The advantages of going to a phehlweni is to reconnect with yourself. That is the biggest advantage of a phehlweni, is to reconnect with yourself, learning the language of the spirit, because of that is the most important thing beyond just dreams. Ancestor speaks in various languages. The other advantage is that you will get healed. If, for an example, you had sicknesses that are failing doctors, scientific doctors, you know, then when you go to a phehlweni, you will basically be healed because of now you understand yourself, you understand the language of the ancestors. Those are the advantage. You understand what was causing you to get sick so that you become healed and heal the others as well. Because of you knew to say, I was in this same situation and this is how I got healed, you know. And the advantages of it as well is that you impart a certain faculty of knowledge, which I call myself as a spiritual wisdom. This is the example that you have said, when to say you have this spiritual analysis to understand a person. A person when he's plotting something like that, when they say it, they say the awakening of the third eye. It's an advantage. Those are the few things I can count.
I like the fact that uthi bakhona uma uphehlelwe kahle, because kule sikhathi lesikiso vele abantu bayahamba babe baye ephehlweni babuye one bangakalapheki, two bane trauma ledlula lele bebayitholi bebanayo before babe sekhaya. Ngifuna sibele ke lapho ekhehla ukuthi masikhuluma ngeliphehlo, because liphehlo it's a very deep time. It's also a very sacred time. Isikhathi lefude ukuthi kuso vele ligotshwana lihlele letinto telidlodi lifunza ngelidlodi bayafunzana yena nelidlodi lakhe. It's a time lapha kahle kahle khona kuthiwa it's a time lapha futhi as well to keep the kotwana as pure as possible. But bantu ke into le lesixoshela leyenda ukuthi kube netinkinga ongisho njalo kube questionable tindzaba tindzaba tekuphehla ngiletinto letentiwa bokugobela ebantfaneni. So bantu sebayasaba one imixa abantwana babo ngephehlweni one. Two, there's also indzaba yetimali tekuthwasa ukuthi akusafanani na back then where emuva abantu bemathwasa bekakhona kubhadala gobela or to pay for ama-services agobela ngemsebenzi walakhaya ukuthi kuyalinywa kwentiwa njani nyalo. The situation is not the same now. So semaningi lama-considerations abakhona ekubikiseni umfana akho ephehlweni. They may be abused, they may be all sorts of abuse, they may be two, they may not even be healed babuye bangakalapheki. Three, ukuthi sesibabhadalela kanjani, how do we even afford this? Thokoza ke.
I think what you counted is nothing but the reality, unfortunately, that is happening ebunyangeni nasephehlweni, especially ma uyothwasa. It is a big advantage indeed because of really the issue of money. I will put it as number one. You know, money becomes a bigger issue and it disadvantages people not to go ephehlweni. How would you go to a ephehlweni and pay an amount that you yourself, you are in need of it, you know? So firstly, we define the fees of iphehlo by calling it inkomo kagobela, the cow of the one that initiates you. Now let us talk now. If in our time now, in 2020, do we have inkomo that maybe is 40,000? I'm just making an example. I'm sorry to make figures because of there could be people that actually cost this amount. So inkomo, you understand, the equivalent of inkomo must be translated into a monetary value. Then you will say inkomo yam is this much, which is inkomo directly kagobela, or you would rather say if uphile emakhaya lalela ke you're not going to pay me anything, ngizocela nje inkomo uyilethe, inkomo yedlozi uyilethe ngifake esibayeni. That is how normally people have to do it. So those are disadvantages. The second thing is that the majority of people now who are initiating, they have forgotten one thing, to say that you are a spiritual father, not a boyfriend. You cannot sing usemanjalo coming to a phehlweni and the master I start allowing my eyes to see things that I'm not supposed to be seeing, or maybe focus on things that I'm not supposed to be focusing. Then at the end of the day, you find out a person want to turn ukuthwasa into something else, you understand? Which is wrong. I think those are the disadvantages that causes a lot of problems, and all those things, and they're claiming that it has something to do with iphehlo. There is nothing like that. Sex cannot work along with iphehlo in anyhow. Even if you do have a husband, you need to stay to kumbula ukuthi uthwasisa lo moya olakuwe. Lo moya olakuwe does not need an interruption in anyhow. Akumelanga uhlukumezeke. And also the other disadvantage is this: we cannot differentiate between uthwasa and a domestic worker. You know, uthwasa, the role that uthwasa came here is because of, it's very clear, uzothwasisa abakubo and learn whatsoever that I need to learn. Not that I must make what must be voluntarily a must. You cannot be able to turn a domestic worker that is actually paying the gobel. I mean, if you're a domestic worker and I'm your master, I must pay you. Not you become a domestic worker, then you pay me. Such things like that, they are things that are actually bringing a lot of problem and it makes it very worse because of abogobela babathwasa for ebantwini besifazane asathembi kahle ngoba those are the ones, unfortunately, that normally does that. And even those, the opposite gender, there are those also who does that. But it's a big disadvantage, which I believe, as we're speaking like this, I appeal to all healers. As BLMA Sisweni, let's do things right. Because of by doing so, people are watching. and the people, they will never ever take the disadvantage, because of the disadvantage never built anyway. Thomas.
Thomas, I'm cool. Please touch on the importance of purity during this time. Why do we need amakochwana or matwasa to be pure? And to
Okay.
yes, in that time, what is it? What's the link? What's the spiritual link to the purity? Why do we need them to be pure for them and for the process?
There's this say that says cleanliness it is next to godliness, not pure, not physical cleanliness, but spiritual cleanliness. That is the purity we're talking about here. You need to be very, very pure, because of lo muntu omphethe la kuwe akumelanga akhuphuke nensila. Do you understand what I'm saying? If we say, for an example to you, you cannot be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not allowed ephehlweni. And when you do it, ngapha ulekudla iphehlo uzokhuphula lo muntu lona nalokungcola lokho. You come out ephehlweni, the gobela didn't see, because of there are always tricks to make sure. Qala, we used to sing egobongo ukuthi mawuphehlelwa umuntu othile ephehlweni, that type of umuntu will say ukuthi no, you did not stand in. So then the next time when you get out, then you find ledlozi maselikubusa ngendlela obehave ngayo ephehlweni. So to avoid to take bad things into future, you must stick into purity. You must be pure in any possible way. This is not applicable only to ukuthwasa. It is also applicable to ukobela as well, the one that actually steer it. You cannot go and do white ukucha all the night and come back and do that. The next thing was amathwasa mawathatha lo mkhokha lo ofakile emuthini mawubaphehlela bayijukutsha nithe amathwasa manje walaleli kanti imbiza ifuza ukuhamba isintu sisho kanjalo. So the importance of purity is to do it for the sake of the spirit that is growing in you. Kahle kahle angithi siyakhulisa la. Sikhulisa lo moya ola kuwe, kumele ukhule kahle lo. Uyabona mawukhula uthukana endlini. When you swearing, ukhulule ukuthukana, abantwana bakho bazothukana. Nasephehlweni again mawukhula uleke wenza izinto eziyout not pure, being impure. Nedlozi lakho lizokwenza ukuthi ubonakale ngathi boyothwasa izinto ezirong. Thokoza.
Thokoza Kehle. Now we must kuluma while we're speaking purity. Ngicela ukukhuluma nangetikhwama leti ukuthi masithwasayo sithatha tikhwama, especially mabe lakhaya beku olendloti lekupha lo msebenzi kuba nekuthi sikhwama sakhona singcolile or sikhwama lesinjani. I'm just speaking purity here. I'd like you to expand on that topic, on how sikhwama sibe singcolile or sikhwama lesimdaka, and how you can make sure ukuthi you do not inherit tikhwama letinjalo, inherit sikhwama lesingcolile, or how. So yeah, to ensure that you become a light worker, because I think esikhathini listening masikhuluma ngetangoma mina nje masikhuluma ngawo sikhuluma ngema light workers asikhulumi ngale because angasho let me not faka yami opinion la, because la kune darkness, we speak about the yin and the yang. There's light, there's dark, there's good and there's evil. Ngicela singene lapho ukuthi la thwaseni, how is it determined ukuthi lo muntu lona umsebenzi wakhe utawuhamba benjani? Utaba muhle noma utaba mubi, utawulapha noma utawubulala? Kuba indzaba yesikhwama noma kuba indzaba yemfundiso as well ukuthi umuntu ufunze ini lapha thwase khona? Thokoza Kehle.
Okay. Both question, I mean both statement that you've said, they're all applicable to that. Imfundiso kanye futhi namadlozi asekhaya as well. They can contribute to somebody ejike ephume nesikhwama esingekho right. You can be from the home that has no problem, then ungene ekhaya elingekho right, uzophuma nesikhwama esingekho right, or ungene ekhaya eli right uphume kwagobela uphume uye ekhaya uthola ukuthi ekhaya khona izinto ezingalunganga. Still it will be the same. That's what I'm saying is both. So when we're talking about isikhwama esingalungile, we're actually talking about a type of ancestors, type of ancestors that are there. In fact, remember I said to you, the first process of ukobela to initiate a person is to become a healer and do the cleansing. Because of many agezele ikhwama lezi ozanazo. Kahle kahle ikhwama uyithathi kwagobela. uyithatha emadlozini wakini makunesikhwama esimnyama mangithi isikhwama esimnyama lesokukhunkula noma esobuthakathi usuka naso from ekhaya kumele sifike sizogezwa ngaphambi kokuthi size singene ngoba ezinye izikhwama zingena phakathi kwagobela then nakwagobela kujika kuba contaminated kube mnyama nakhona kube worse abanye abantwana othwasa nabo sebaya on the path that you are going because of ungene nani nesikhwama esingekho right so izikhwama suke sikhuluma ngomsamo wasekhaya sisuke sikhuluma ngamadloti lawasekhaya ekumele ahlanjululwe alungiswe kahle ngoba ngishilo ngathi khona amadlozi agulayo khona amadlozi abiphethe impande engekho right khona amadlozi njengami ngithi mangiceda ukuthwasa ngiyahamba ngiyokhendla umnyanga ngibuya nezinto ezithile ezingasahambelani nedlozi bayangijikisa kumele ngibuya nezikhwama engcolile manje yimi engidlozi kumele kulungiswe leyo nto leyo then bese maseceda ke umuntu izinto zakhe zizokwazi ukwenzani to take a proper direction because of at the end of the day uma ungena ekuthwaseni there's only two types of izimpande ukufunda impande ebomvu eyokuyivikela nempande emhlophe yokuphilisa abantu le emnyama no kumele sigeze ngoba already ubumnyama it already means like you saying the yin yang it means darkness we cannot be able to use such a thing when it comes to ebunyangeni asikho umuntu ongathwasa isikhwama esimnyama if usithwasile therefore kusho ukuthi there was a mistake bekumele kube bayesigezile lesikhwama so that uphuma uphethe isikhwama sakini esikhanyayo ngoba kahle kahle yiso esinye esizayo sizokhalela ukuthi masilungiswe makhosi lezi ezimnyama silungisa nazo
makhosi sesiyaphela isikhathi sethu I want us to touch on briefly on nabantu labahamba ukhosi bahamba bayothwasa babuye ephehlweni kube kudinho labayifunzile bantu bahamba bayothwasa babuya bakwathi kuhlahluba abakwati naleti ndlela ekuthwasisa sedinenge man angathi ukuthi if there is a standard way it's a standard way yokuthwasisa umuntu lothwasile sithi umuntu lowendeni ngiloliphuzile waliphalaza sithi ngilohambile wayohlala kagobela for isikhathi lesingakanani and did not learn anything. What do we call a sangoma at the end of the day? Who is a sangoma?
Okay. A sangoma is this particular person that went through the process of ingoma. What is ingoma is ritual and ritualism. You know, uye umuntu that is called a sangoma. You understand? If you went washayelwa ingoma in all those things and issues relating to that, then you become a sangoma. And the person that it's a qualified person emnyangeni oye through iphehlo nokuthwasa becomes a sangoma. If you bake bakushayela that ingoma for an example, then makumele ulidle uliphalaze wabaleka, you are not a sangoma. You cannot also be a sangoma still. This is just a tricky term that we can be able to define in terms of isangoma. And as well for people that abafike bangena ekuthwaseni baphuma bangafundisekanga. So we must firstly question 3 questions that could be a possible cause. One is that umuntu lento bekazoyithwasa akusiyiyo. Mhlambe lo muntu for an example khona lento abayifunayo abafuna ubunyanga. Khona lemimoya angene nayo efuna lentwaso kodwa ingafuni ukufunda kukagobela nani khona into abazomfundisa yona seka yi1 mhlambe ngaba good ngaba bad. 2 uphuma ungafundanga ephehlweni it's either uthwasa emuntwini yena ongana anything to offer you ngoba we do have healers like that. We do have healers that cannot be able to explain amathambo lawa akulethe ephehlweni bathi hamba ufunda amathambo yana cannot be able to explain amathambo, cannot be explain anything and just saying no just follow. Then the third one is that umuntu uphuma angafundanga ngoba naye uthi hayi ithingo bathe ngiyothwasa. You understand? As if he does not know ukuthi uhlushwa idlozi. Bathe ngiyothwasa. Everything that you are saying indlebe zakhe ivalekile uyafundisa indlebe ivalekile. Makaphuma uthi as long as ngiphilile njengoba bengigula. Masekaphuma lo muntu the next thing start realizing to say no man ukuthwasa kuhamba nolwazi nokuphehlelwa ngaphakathi. Then a person will blame Gobela. These 3 reasons. For me, this is what I have discovered in my own research and analysis dealing with people. These are the problems. Ikhwama ezingalunganga ezifike zikhohlise ephehlweni. Ungena lana with a knowledge oyizwe from somewhere ufuna ukutshela omunye umuntu uzofunda kanjani. Okwesithu ugobela akazi lutho and all those things. Nayo it's a problem again. And then the third one else as I have said ukuthi abantu bayahluleka ukufunda because of their intention is wrong. Thokoza.
Thokoza mkhulu. Another challenge mkhulu ukuthi abantu sebafika ephehlweni sebathwasile kakhulu la ku social media mkhulu. Bathwase ku social media and then bafika lapha bahambe baye ephehlweni bayoniketa abogobela tinkinga because sekuthi into labangayadi. Bafika lana sebafundzile balalela timfundiso tabani balalela timfundiso tabani balalela timfundiso kabani la ka social media. Bakafika lana gobela uzama kumhambisa ngendlela ngoba pha gobela yena uchamka mangabe uthole gobela lokahle usebenza ngemoya as well ufuna ukulungisa lo muntu kutositakala le tothwasiswa la khaya but bantu bafika sebafikile lana so thwasile so tuketa gobela challenge usigobela sokucala kuphi ke ngoba sebafika vele sibayadi so that is another challenge esithola ngifuna kubonga nje khehla ngoba isikhathi sethu sesiphelele for today and we are going to bring you back even next week sizabe sinamkhulu Ben Cylinder and then we will bring you back again because there's so many questions. Please guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I note your questions and I'm going to note them. We will bring them up with next weekend's lesson with Mkhulu Ben, and we will also take on more questions. Feel free to send questions. Take on more questions. We have a number of questions, a number of things to go through. It's going to be 7 lessons on ukuthwasa. So stay tuned. We're going to have different lessons. We're going to have different teachers as well. Thokozani makhetla makhulu. Siyabonga kakhulu kuwe mkhulu.